I like Princess Peach. She's cute, she's pink, and she has a lot of money, and toads basically worship her, so you got your very own personal army of them if you would ever get to marry her. You wouldn't though since she's not real, but there's nothing bad about being delusional every once in a while. Sometimes it's fine to dream big in a way that can't be achieved. Those delusions make you feel good though, just like the company behind this game, Good Feel. The people behind games such as Kirby's Epic Yarn, the recent Yoshi games, and an actual really good game that we here in the West didn't got yet, Mameda no Bakubu, which I actually played since it got an English translation patch and doesn't really require you to understand Japanese anyways, which makes me feel a bit sad because it's the best game Good Feel has made and more people need to experience it, so Nintendo or Good Feel, please localize it for the masses. I once had to attend a play in elementary school and it was boring as hell, but still better than a normal school day. Princess Peach seems to be a bigger fan of them though, and goes to the Sparkle Theater to see a play with some toads, or even a whole bunch of plays, because this theater has tons of them, which I guess is normal, but Madame Grape, the villain of the game, takes over the theater and ruins the fun for everyone. Oh no, she kidnapped all the big actors and now all of the plays are ruined. How mean of her. She kinda gives me the vibes of an older British woman that hates everything, especially her husband, so she finally takes all the anger out on people who didn't deserve it, instead of honor her husband by leaving him and stripping him of all of his assets before finding true love and living a fulfilling life, while he stalks on Facebook and has to regret not being a better man for her for the rest of his life. Now it's up to Peach to save the place and their actors, but she's not alone. She got the help of Stella, the guardian of the theater. Didn't do a good job at it, to be honest, but we are here to fix it. Peach's crown also gets stolen, and for some reason at first, Peach without her crown on the head just looked really weird, but I got used to that, especially when I unlocked the cowgirl pattern for a dress that I just continue to use for the rest of the game. Yeah, you can actually customize her dress and ribbon, same goes for Stella. Better collect all of those coins to make Peach look even cuter. So now it's your turn to pick your play from one of 4 doors to see what amazing fun is behind them, and afterwards you get to fight a big boss to unlock the next floor of the theater. Every play basically follows the same 3 stages of a play: the introduction, the middle part and the ending. In the introduction you always start as the normal Peach and first have to get the transformation. When you got it, you get the basics of it and beat the stage. When the second stage comes around, you already start as the transformation and get a full stage of it, yay. And then in the ending stage you free the actor and work together with them for an epic climax. For every transformation gets 3 stages, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is enough for most of them because they are pretty simple, so they do not overstay their welcome, especially more combat orientated outfits such as the SWAT fighter. Most stages can also be put into 2 categories. Some are more puzzly while others focus mostly on combat, which is the weakest point of the game since it's just mashing a button, especially when it comes to Spot Fighter Peach or Kung Fu Peach. You just go around the stage and have to beat enemies up with 1 button, or in the case of Kung Fu Peach, you can also climb on pillars and kick them into space. While others that feature combat such as Ninja Peach or Cowgirl Peach have just way more going on in their levels, such as wall running or riding on a horse, and those kind of moments just give it a little bit of extra that makes them feel more fun. But especially Thief Peach. She got combat, she got a bit of puzzle solving. I can't really call anything in this game a puzzle if you're an adult, it has a functional brain, but still. And a cool grappling hook and even a glider, she got it going on. She deserves her own game actually. Every stage is around 10 to 15 minutes, some are even shorter, but that's a good thing, since some of them could already feel a bit boring at that time, so getting something different and fresh every 15 minutes really helps the lame transformations to not feel too boring. But sometimes I wanted some of these stages also to be a bit longer, like the detective ones, where you gotta solve little puzzles with a silly little storyline. Even though they made me think I want them to be way harder, but since it's for kids, the questions you have to answer or think about are pretty lame and easy. And I'm not even a smart person, they're really charming though. Let me take the last detective stage as an example. At the end there's an imposter. With Peach's ability here, you can walk up to things and keep the B button pressed to basically say, hey, there's something wrong here. So all you have to do at the climax here is keeping the B button pressed. No thinking, no nothing, you can't fail. Even though your detective friend asked the imposter some questions like, when do you meet up with someone if they told you to meet them at 9 o'clock? To which he responds with 9 o'clock. But the actual assistant of the detective always said to be there 5 minutes earlier than expected. So my brain knew, wow, that is something I have to pick when he asked me why the imposter is an imposter. But I didn't have to do that. I could have just not read anything and that would have also been fine. Why? Why make it that easy? I know it's a kids game, it should be simple, not too hard. I wanted to feel smart though with my smartness, but instead the game didn't let me feel smart. I think even some kids would think that the game is maybe too easy. Probably. I don't know any kids really, so I can't speak for them, but I was a really smart one. I swear. Then there are also a few other stages that I thought, hey, I would have really enjoyed a bit more of this, especially Pastry Peach. Those stages were my favorites for one thing only: they put cream onto the pastry sections. As a lactose intolerant person, I can't really enjoy them that much anymore in real life, because for some reason every time I want to order those pills that make me able to eat products that I normally can't eat, well, I just don't buy them. I should order some right now, but I probably won't, and I kinda hate taking pills. Instead, I will probably eat a really creamy cake soon and enjoy it while I can enjoy it before I suffer the consequences of my actions. I think that's how it goes for most people with this condition. You just kinda risk it every once in a while. These sections were just really fun, and I can't even really tell you why. It just hit the right spots in my brain to make me think it's fun, even though I'm just putting cream onto a cake. I want a whole game of this now, despite knowing it would probably become boring after 20 minutes most likely. Competitive cake making game should be a little niche that needs to be invented. Turn it into an esports or something. The final stage of it was even fairly hard and took me a few tries because it can be a bit finicky with how you have to place the cream and you're under a time limit. It was the hardest thing in the game for me. So, some stages I hit, while others I miss. I guess they do miss sometimes. Mostly the combat ones for me personally. Maybe you would be one of those people that actually likes them. I would know since I don't know you. I can't really say anything truly bad about this game, except for its simpleness, which isn't a problem if you don't mind it, and then two other things, one of them being the frame rate. The game is 30 FPS, which isn't the end of the world mostly, except if you're a person who thinks everything under 60 is unplayable. For puzzle stages, it's not a problem at all, but sometimes on these action stages, where you have to play the game like an auto runner or riding on Peach's horse, it just feels so terrible and super duper unsmooth. I mean, if you look at the game, it does look really pretty, but it doesn't feel like it looks pretty enough not to achieve 60 FPS, especially since the stages are very self-contained and do have a lot of cute little details, but nothing mind-blowing. Most of the time this won't be a problem because of the slow nature of the game, but it makes the parts that are supposed to feel fast stick out like a sore thumb, and I think even people who don't know what a frame rate is would feel like there's something weird going on. The other bad thing about the game is missing one of the sparkle gems, the collectibles of the game. Doesn't matter if you're not going for 100%, but since the areas are cut off from each other, it means that sometimes you miss one and there's no way to go back to it again unless you play through the whole play again and don't miss it this time. Not too much of a problem if it's one that takes no skill, like missing one of the spotlight ones, or you didn't see one hidden in the background, so you can take all the time in the world finding it. The problem are the ones where you actually have to try getting it, or the ones where the game suddenly won't let you get them anymore if you do something else first without knowing. Here in the second mermaid stage, for example, I see the grid on the bottom of the boat, so I think, oh, there must be something there, but first let me go left and get the fishies, because when you control them, they open up stuff for you. Yay! People who work for you for free are amazing. Anyone wanna edit my videos for me for free? No? Okay. Now I open up the hull to reveal the eel instead of going into the grid first, and it makes the fish go away where I can't get to control them anymore despite knowing there is something that I missed. The only thing I could do now is to replay the whole stage to that point again, which is a problem because they can be pretty damn slow, especially if they got a lot of little cutscenes in them. You can skip the big cutscenes in the game, but if you're in a stage, you gotta watch all the tiny little NPCs walk to their specific place again, and the stages are really not that much fun playing them over and over again. But there's even things here that Peach does better than Mario, like bosses. The bosses, should I even really use the plural of boss since it's basically just Bowser Jr. all the time, in Wonder, we're just so bankrupt of any creativity that it made me pretty sad. But here every boss is its own thing with how you fight them, throwing back disco balls at a bird, or hiding behind walls because of a giant snake. They're all different from each other and have some really fun gimmicks, something that I can't say about any 2D Mario game pretty much. And I know, the snake boss fight is kinda like the time where the Koopalings are not allowed to see you in New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, but still, here it's way cooler, and I won't spoil anything about the final boss, but I will just have to say that it's not fair of Peach to steal Rosalina's look. Stop, you will never be her, and she deserves her own game too. The game even has a post game, wow. After you beat it, you can now even decorate the whole theater, which is kinda neat, but I kinda wish that you would have been able to do that before you actually beat the game. Why not allow players to decorate the floors they have cleared? Imagine if someone already goes for 100% right from the start and gets all these sparkle gems and never has another reason to fire up the game again after beating it, so now they can spend all their gems to decorate the theater and, well, they can even enjoy the theater looking differently because you don't have to ever walk around going into levels again. But the post-game also introduces being able to battle the bosses again with extra challenges like never getting hit, but no, it also tells you, hey, we got 3 hidden new NPCs in every stage to basically play through every stage again in the whole game basically and find these 3 Valdos. And they're pretty well hidden. I looked around for a few of them and it took a good while. Goodfield really loves doing that since they did the same with Mameda no Bakuwu, where halfway through the game they also introduced new hidden NPCs in every stage. Just wanted to tell you about that game again because you should check it out. In the end, I was decently surprised that it's a really charming game with some genuine fun mechanics that is obviously aimed at the younger generation. Man, I'm old. But still feels like a fun game even for older people like me if you're fine with only having to use 5% of your brain. Not every game has to be a masterpiece or be total trash. Some games can just be a pretty decent 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. For me, a 6 or 7 is also pretty damn high actually. At a lower price, I would even easily recommend it, so just wait for it to hit like 30 bucks or 20 bucks. Wait, never mind, it's a Nintendo game. Just make kids and wait till they're old enough to play it and then buy it, so I guess you have a true reason to play a game made for kids. Not meant as an insult to people who are older and enjoy kids games, but you know, go do your taxes or something instead if you don't think this game appeals to you. Even though I must say people who are not rich should be allowed to do tax fraud. Oh no, look at me, I'm rich and I earn 20 million bucks a year, but still want more money so I commit crime so I don't pay most of my taxes. Woohoo! Stupid. Even though the government really loves to waste tax money on stupid stuff instead of good things, but still, I hope you have a great day, maybe a good night.